Welcome to mykidsbank.org, the financial simulation of online banking that's used by independent living classes. For the purpose of this demonstration, our bank ID will be Mrs. Smudgick's Bank 30259. The first step is to know your instructor's bank ID and put it in the bank ID box at the top of your screen. Next comes your username. At this point, it will be the prefix of your flaschools.org email. So in this case, I have an examp 18 an examp as my prefix before at forestlakeschools.org, and I will fill that in as both my password and my username. I then click the online button or the login button. If you can see, I have already, in my checking account, I have a current balance of $256.17. How I started this was by redeeming the banknote that my parents gave me for $1,000 by entering that on the first day of the simulation. How I did that was I clicked on the box, Redeem a Banknote, and entered the code shown here. You will get this paper copy from your teacher as a first deposit. The second thing that students need to understand is that your banker will be making a paycheck deposit each week based on your attendance and your grades. Attendance and grades for the week. So in this case, $262 has been deposited to my account on week 1 for attendance and grades, along with the initial deposit of money from my parents. Next, you will note all of the withdrawals. These occur on bill days. For instance, you will note that a bill was paid to Verizon Phone in the amount of $125 on 12/1, leaving me with a balance example. The most common thing students will be required to do is to transfer to their savings account the Pay Yourself First payday. So let me give you an example of the paydays that I don't have in here. I'll act as if I am a banker at this point. You will notice I've only got one payday done, but I have withdrawn for 4 paydays. So let me show you how my banker will make a deposit. Into my account for payday number 2, I will enter the amount, which is payday number 2. I understand this from my Pay Yourself First, $390. So again, I will make a deposit of $390. Let me write that in first, $390. And I'll say payday number 2. Now I can click the button called Submit. And if I made a mistake with a decimal or something like that, I can go back and change it. Or if I didn't make a mistake, I can confirm. Now you will notice that my account reflects an additional balance due to my payday number 2 check being put in. Admittedly, a little late. If I go up to the Pay Yourself First, you will note the withdrawals. In Paying Yourself First, what you do is take 10% of any paycheck. You will see here that 10% of $390 is $39 right here, and I transfer it to savings. This next demonstration is how you do a transfer to your own savings account. Every student has both a checking and a savings account. Rather than calling it a transfer payment, this particular online simulation calls it making a direct payment. You'll be making this direct payment to yourself. Most banks will refer to this as a transfer of funds. Click on the Make a Direct Payment account and then locate your savings account. All savings account will start with the word savings in capital letters followed by your first initial and your last name. In this case, A example. In this case, I would now fill in the amount that I have to save, $39, which you'll note I already have done, and I will itemize this deduction as a pay yourself first, payday number 2, so that in future tracking I can notice that I indeed did save 10%. Now my next option would be to submit this. Again, I'll be given the option to go back if this is incorrect. Some students do the decimal in the wrong place, for instance, and they would need to go back, and you would just simply start again, correcting whatever was wrong in this example. In this case, you will also want to check to see that you do not transfer funds to another student, but again, you'll go back to your own account, savings, example, and then you will click submit. In this case, since I have already done it, I will click cancel. And that's all there is to it. You will be redeeming a banknote the very first time you make your initial deposit. When you redeem a banknote, you simply have to put the banknote code in here. I will cancel that. We've already done that. When you make a withdrawal, you will be paying bills. And you'll notice when you make a withdrawal, you will itemize what you paid the bill for, and you'll put in the amount and click submit right here. You can see that the bills we have paid so far are for rent, car insurance, groceries, Xcel Energy, trash pickup, and Verizon phone. We've had 2 bill days so far. That's a highlight of how to do mykidsbank.com online banking. For additional information, please contact your tellers in your class who have access to your account or your instructor.